Okay, chapter 2.2, the distributive property. Notice these first two problems here are almost identical, except this one has a variable. What we'll do is what's called the arrow method. We'll take this outside number, 3, and we have to multiply it by everything inside. Now, normally doing this, you would just say 6 plus 2 is 8 times 3. But I just want to show you the distributive property with numbers, and then we'll use it with variables. So in this case, it's 3 times 2. 3 times 2. And then I have 3 times positive 6. 3 times 6. And you see on our answers, 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18, and 18 and 6 is 24. That sure is a long way of doing it, isn't it? Okay, let's use variables now. I have 3 times, oh wait, there's no number there. That number is 1, the invisible 1. 3 times 1, that's 3x. 3 times 1 is 3 with an x. And over here, 3 times positive 4. 3 times 4 is 12. And they're both positive. And there's your answer. So we'll kind of make things a little bit shorter instead of doing the long way here. So what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to use, we're going to use distributive property with variables involved. Not just numbers, but with variables. Okay, again, we're going to use the arrow method. Notice how the number's on the right side. Hey, no problem. Just take that, multiply by everything inside. So I'm first going to do 5 times 2. 5 times 2x. 5 times 2 is 10. So it's 10x. Then I have 5 times 2 right here. 5 times 2 is 10. Is that a positive 10 or a negative 10? 5 times 2 is positive 10. So I'm going to put plus 10 because it's a positive 10. If it was a negative 10, I'd put minus 10. I'm just going to go down the page. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to come back up to the top. So we're going to use the arrow method. The number on the outside, that's positive 4, times each one inside. 4 times 2, that's 8, 8x. 4 times, hey, that's a negative 3. 4 times negative 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and there's one negative, so the answer is negative. So don't put plus negative 12, just say minus 12. All right, we'll take the outside number times each one inside. So I have positive 3 times this number, that's negative 4. 3 times negative 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and there's one negative, so it's negative. That's 12, negative 12x. Then I had to take 3 times positive 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And they're both positive, so it's positive. It's a plus. And that's our answer. Notice again how we can't combine these two together, okay? Because they are not like terms. One has an x and one does not. Okay, take the outside number times each one inside. 2 times negative 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and there's one negative, so it's negative 4. Negative 4x. Then I have 2 times this number. That's negative 3. 2 times negative 3. 2 times 3 is 6, and there's one negative, so it's negative. Again, you cannot combine these together. That's your answer. Now notice this time we have a negative on the outside. Negative 3. So you multiply that by everything inside. So this negative 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And there's one negative, so it's negative 9. Then over here, we have negative 3 times positive 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And there's one negative. So negative and positive. There's only one negative. So it's negative. And that's it. Again, notice how I have a negative on the outside. Negative 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6, and there's one negative. So that's negative 6x. Then I have negative 3 times negative 4. 3 times 4 is 12. There's two negatives. Two negatives, so they cancel. And that's why it's plus 12. Again, I put a negative 3 on the outside. So it's going to be negative 3 times negative 4. 3 times 4 is 12. And the negatives cancel. There's two negatives, two of them. So it's a positive. Now I'll do negative 3 times negative 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And there's two negatives. I'm multiplying two negatives, they cancel. Now notice that this time we have three, what we call terms, three terms inside. So take the outside, negative 4, times each one inside. So 4 times 2 is 8. And the two negatives cancel. There's two negatives. So this is 8x. I'll take negative 4 times, this is positive 3 there. Positive 3y. 4 times 3 is 12. And there's a y. And notice there's one negative. I'm multiplying one negative. So it's minus. It's negative. Then I have negative 4 times negative 4. 4 times 4, that's 16. And there's two negatives. I'm multiplying two negatives, so it's a big plus. And you cannot combine these. These are unlike terms. Okay, we just need to go over one more thing with you, and that's called factoring. And factoring is nothing more than going backwards with the distributive property. It's going backwards. So what I'm going to do, underneath this, I'm going to put parentheses. And I have my x here. Okay, what does the 9 and the 12 have in common? What number goes into both 9 and 12? What number would that be? 3. 3 goes into both 9 and 3 goes into 12. Okay, so 3 times something is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times something is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Hey, congratulations. You just factored this expression right here. You factored out a 3. You took a 3 out of each term. So we have 3 parentheses 3x plus 4. Now see, if you went forward, you'd be 3 times 3x, that's 9x, and 3 times 4 is 12. So see, you're going backwards. Let's try another one, 10x plus 4. So what I'll do is I'll put parentheses down below it. You know it's going to be an x here and a plus. And what goes into both 10 and 4? What number will go into 10 and 4? 2 does. So 2 goes on the outside. We're pulling a 2 out of each one of these. So 2 times something is 10. 5. 2 times something is 4. 2. And there you go. You just factored it. So you went backwards. Because 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, last one. It's a little sloppy here, but it's 3x plus 15. 3x plus 15. So we have to figure out what numbers. What number goes into both 3 and 15? What number will go into both of these? 3 does. 3 times something is 3. 1. 3 times 1. You can leave a 1 there or just leave it x. It doesn't matter. And 3 times something is 15. 5. And there you have it. 3 times 1, that's 3x. And using the arrow method again, that's 3 times 5 is 15. So factoring is going distributive property backwards. You'll use this a lot in algebra.